Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back to Spiggs Gaming, and today I'm going to be reacting to another Halo theory, or Halo, something explained, I guess. I don't know, if there's, a specific, title to these videos. But, of course, it is by an amazing Halo nerd, Hidden Xperia, and, again, I will leave his channel link down below if you check it out. We are going to be finding out what happened to June from Halo Reach. For those of you who don't know or don't remember, because Halo Reach came out a long time ago. God, that was 12 years ago. I'm old. Okay, so in Halo Reach, there were this group of people called Noble Team, and throughout the game, you sadly find out and you see firsthand almost all of the members of Noble Team die in different levels, and it is very sad. But there's one person in Noble Team who does not die, or at the very least, we don't see him die. His name is JUN. It was always questioned about what happened with him, because in the game, Halsey goes off to go to another planet, and JUN goes to accompany her. And there is this journal that you get when you bought Halo Reach back in the day, and it is Halsey's journal. And if you look at the last page, she wrote something along the lines of, "They are knocking down our door, and JUN says we have to go." And that is the last entry. So you kind of expect, oh, well, then they're dead. Not they, but he must be dead. Because she is in later games, we know that she was fine. We know that she lived. But we don't know if, JUN maybe did something that, stayed behind to make sure she could go. So, I really want to find out, because that has, been a question that I've had for years. Because I've just been what happened to him? Because, it was never explained. So, hopefully, this video by Hidden Xperia will explain it, because I am very confused by it, and I want to find out what happens.
Hey guys, welcome back. Today, I want to talk about the fate of Noble 3, Spartan JUN A266, the only surviving member of Noble Team, and his fate following the events of Halo Infinite. Now, you've read that title, and you're probably wondering, was JUN in Halo Infinite? Did I miss some massive plot point or Easter egg or something?
Wait, they're saying he was in Infinite?
Oh, soldier, you missed nothing, don't you worry. The discussion about JUN's potential fate comes from this cutscene right here, where Cortana orders the destruction of Laconia Station.
Yeah, it was one of my favorites.
Your sacrifice is appreciated.
Understood. Goodbye, Cortana.
Yeah, it's one of my favorites.
For those who maybe haven't read the books, this probably won't mean much, but those who read Bad Blood know why this is significant. So, let me explain. After the events of Reach, JUN hung his Mjolnir up and became the lead recruiter for the Spartan 4 program, recruiting several notable Spartans, including Sarah Palmer, Buck, and the rest of Alpha 9 to all become Spartan 4s.
What?
In this new high-up executive position, he wound up stationed aboard the highly classified facility in which the Spartan 4s are trained. Now, for the longest time, we had no idea what the name of the station was. However, in Halo Infinite, it's revealed to be Laconia Station. So, skipping forward a few years to 2558...
And Cortana blew it up.
...of Cortana's created uprising, and in the days following the end of Halo 5, Buck and Alpha 9 travelled to Laconia Station as a part of a highly classified operation...
Did you say Buck?
Mickey Crespo, previously
What?
of Alpha 9, now a disgraced, imprisoned rebel who was responsible for the death of the Rookie. During their breakout effort, they encountered the smart AI Leonidas, the AI in control of Laconia Station, and immediately, Buck noticed that something was wrong. Leonidas was acting rather odd. When Buck asked to see JUN, Leonidas insisted that he had been indisposed, that he was sleeping after having been awake for days in the wake of Cortana's uprising. However, later on, Buck discovered that Leonidas had shut the oxygen off in JUN's room, essentially holding him hostage unconscious. Leonidas had officially defected to the Created. Laconia Station was compromised, and JUN, its human leader, was out of the question. Throughout the hour or so that they spent on Laconia freeing Mickey, they never once encountered June. However, when Buck disables Leonidas, he does end up waking up, contacting them over the radio to warn them of the punishment for freeing a prisoner, especially a prisoner held aboard Laconia. But that given the current climate in the universe, it could be forgiven. June is then present briefly throughout the rest of the book, but Bad Blood ends up being the last that we hear of June in the post-created Uprising universe. And by the end of the book, he is still on Laconia, so that means, by extension, a year later, when Cortana contacts Leonidas and has him destroy the station, he should have still been aboard, which means that theoretically June is dead. But let's not jump the gun just yet. Just remember who we're talking about here, right? June, the ghost of Noble Team, the only surviving member of his squad who somehow managed to survive and escape the Fall of Reach, then survive the entire Human Covenant War and come out the other end with an extremely important job. All without a scratch.
Yeah.
June is one slippery bugger of a Spartan. He survived some of the most unsurvivable events in Halo universe history. And so I have no doubt that he managed to survive the destruction of Laconia Station. I mean, come on. Compared to surviving Reach and the Human Covenant War, one station exploding is small potatoes for June. He's survived much worse.
Good point.
Granted, though, I do find the idea of June just fleeing the station once he regained consciousness and realised that Leonidas was compromised to be kind of odd. I mean, without a shadow of a doubt, right, June would have definitely tried to warn all the other Spartans and all the staff members aboard and at least try to lead some kind of coordinated effort to get them all off safely. There's no way in hell he'd just leave them all behind on the station to die.
Yeah, no way.
But then again, maybe he did. Maybe he had to. Maybe the only way he could flee was if he did it alone and quietly. And honestly, that might not surprise me that much, given that June tends to excel operating both alone and quietly. That said, though, there's roughly about a year between when Alpha 9 visit Laconia Station and when Cortana has Leonidas destroy it. We don't know exactly when Cortana had it destroyed, but we can assume that it was when Cortana was on Zeta Halo, which was in late 2559, which is roughly a year after the end of Halo 5. And needless to say, a lot can happen in a year, especially for a character like June. When you've got a big evil AI space dictator who's policing every known species in the galaxy and holding entire planets hostage with massive weaponized foreign and mega constructs, I don't know, all sense of rationality kind of goes out the window.
Infallible Freshware by L'Oreal Paris. Buildable coverage that looks fresh hour after hour.
So ultimately, the fate of June definitely does hang in the balance, there's no doubt about that. But you've got to remember the character that we're talking about here. I mean, June will have absolutely made sure he was off Laconia Station before its destruction, I can guarantee.
Yeah.
And furthermore, if we approach this from a more practical kind of real-world perspective, 343 themselves know how much people love Reach and love Noble Team in particular. I mean, hell, they themed and marketed the entire first season and entire multiplayer of Halo Infinite around Reach Spartans and Noble Team in particular.
Yeah.
And after the rather preemptive and absolutely fan-hated deaths of Black Team, the Didact, the Rookie, Julum Dharma, etc., etc., especially the Rookie, by the way, who was literally killed off-screen, 343 know not to kill game characters off in a book or outside the games, and especially not in a scenario that's only addressed twice in the game for the pure purpose of raising the stakes. They know not to do that, and they especially know not to do that for characters that are as beloved as June. So I'd say if you're worried that he might be dead, I wouldn't worry, to be honest with you. I would be legitimately shocked if they killed June off on Laconia Station. Hopefully at some point soon we do get a story or just something that addresses June's fate, because I don't like them leaving it kind of hanging out in the balance. I would like to have some resolution on this, just to satiate the 0.01% of my mind that thinks he might be dead. Just some kind of closure on June's fate would be fantastic. I mean, hell, I'd actually really like it if he somehow made his way back into the main narrative. I mean, don't get me wrong, as much as I'd love to see it happen, I think it's rather unrealistic to expect him to start wearing Mjolnir again and taking the hats off elites, or I guess brutes now, at 2,000 yards, but I mean, you never know, but I would like to see him make his way back into the main narrative in some capacity.
That'd be awesome.
With that
Okay, so that did not give me any closure on what might have happened to June, but I mean, he had a point there. I mean, he wouldn't have just left all those people on that station to just die without telling them or something like that. Or maybe he knew that maybe he had to sacrifice these people so they can save like the entire universe because of what was going on with Cortana and everything, and like this massive war going on, you know. So maybe he felt like he had to leave them behind and he stuck away. And we all know that he's great at being sneaky, because of that one level we had to do, which is one of my favorites. But also, there is a little bit of a doubt. It's like he woke up after being knocked out, and maybe he was disoriented enough to where he maybe not had known what was going on, or maybe the lack of oxygen messed with his brain, and maybe it did something where like he couldn't comprehend everything that well, and he couldn't get to it, and he couldn't figure out what to do in time, and he couldn't figure out what to do in time for him to form a plan. And Cortana, but I'm with him. I mean, I want something to be done with June. June is not really one of my favorite characters from Reach. I really liked Carter. I mean, I was hoping to get some closure on June, so it's kind of sad. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, then be sure to give a big thumbs up on the video and check out Hidden Xp's channel if you haven't already. Comment down below about what your thoughts are on June. What way are you kind of leaning towards? Like, do you think he's still alive? Do you think he's dead? Do you think he's like in space somewhere? Be sure to subscribe and hit the bell icon to get notified whenever I post videos, so you do not miss me doing any more reactions or playing any video games such as Middle-earth Shadow of War. But hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye everybody.